Today I learned that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. probably wouldn't have become a doctor if it weren't for his mother. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I was taught the most simple whitewashed version of who these people were. And in that version, Dr. King was a preacher who was a son of a preacher. And so I concluded without context, and because that was the way I was educated, to think that he got his preacher-isms and his desire to be educated from his father. This is not right. Obviously, he learned a lot from his father. I'm not trying to erase that, but rather follow Dr. Tubbs' work and help unerase the contributions of his mother. Let me read you something. While King's parents were engaged, his mother was more educated than his father, and his mother, Alberta, quote, insisted that Michael complete his education. She would say, "You're not an educated man, King. Not yet. You've got work to do, and you've got to get started." She even tutored him through his schooling. I also learned that at the time, if you were a woman and you got married, you would lose your job as a teacher. This was called the marriage bar. So Alberta King here's a quote, was not allowed to teach in schools anymore, but she used her schooling to teach her husband, her church, and her own children. And thank goodness she did that, because if she hadn't, every Martin Luther King Day, white people wouldn't be able to go to Twitter to tweet their favorite quotes that insinuate that Dr. Martin Luther King was interested in colorblind legislation, even though this is patently demonstrably false. It seems white folks are willing to colonize anything, even including the past. What were we talking about? If the book is titled The Three Mothers, and Alberta King is one of them, who are the other two? Well, as you can see, the mothers of Malcolm Little, who became Malcolm X, and James Baldwin. You should read this book. It will teach you a lot of history in a small amount of pages. And I don't say this very often, in part because I feel like I lack the qualifications, but she is a really good writer. And not just on the sentence and paragraph level, but on the intellectual level of how she weaves these different narratives in and out of each other to make something much bigger than each of the individual stories. It's a book written in the post-attention economy turn, and it's masterful. And if I had a hat, it would be off. In case it's not abundantly clear, I super recommend this book. Obligatory housekeeping: influencer things. You can buy a copy through my affiliate links in the links in my bio if you're interested in doing that. You can also support the channel on Patreon or by liking or following and commenting, engaging with these posts. Okay, bye, happy reading.